afternoon or good morning. Goedemorgen iedereen. Goedemorgen. Welcome at this webinar about the future of search. My name is Cheryl. I'm the CMO at Matic Online. And next to me, I have Jeroen, the Director of Team SEO and Team Content. So as you may notice, this webinar is going to be fully in English. That is due our clientele. We have a few English-speaking clients who are also watching this webinar. But in any case, if this isn't clear or you need some more elaboration or explanation in Dutch, just please let me know and then we will translate it for you. So before I give the stage to Jeroen, I'm just going to explain a few more things about the webinar. So at the webinar, we have a chat, a private chat and a public chat. Feel free to use the chat at any time that you want to. Whenever you have a question or whenever you want to discuss something, just use the chat. The chat will be viewed by me, so I will try to give answers to you. Otherwise, I will ask your question directly to Jeroen so he can give direct answers to you. Also, feel free to just write down your questions in Dutch. I can translate it as well. So let's just keep it as simple as possible. There's also a private chat. So if any case you have a question that's more business related that you don't want to share with others, but only want to share with us, then you can just enter it in the private chat. Then we can come back to you after the webinar to give you answer to your questions. Also, for the people who are watching the webinar at a later time, also feel free to use the chat when you have questions, because the questions that you enter in the chat will directly come into my email, and then we can just come back to you with the answers that you need. Okay, that's enough about me. That's enough about the webinar. Jeroen, the stage is all yours.
Yes, thank you for the introduction, Cheryl. And thank you all for joining this webinar. Good to have you. As Cheryl already mentioned, the webinar is about the future of search. We expect a lot of changes in the coming year, in 2024. So that's why we organized this webinar, and we would like to give you a little bit more information about what is coming. Yes, the biggest changes are coming from Google SGE. If you click to the next slide. And we would like to start off with a little question, because I would like to know the level of knowledge that we have within the session about Google SGE. So I think there's a question now.
Yeah, there's a question now. Are you familiar with Google SGE? So do you know what Google SGE is?
Already.
You can answer yes or no. So I have the results here. About 60% says no and 40% says yes.
Great. Okay. Most of you are familiar with Google SGE already. That's good. And I'm also curious, the ones that answered yes, that you are familiar with SGE, do you already have access to the beta version of Google SGE?
So there's another question now on the screen. Do you have access to Google SGE? Okay, so the results are in. It's 100% no.
That's great. Then most of this information will be new, I guess. So feel free to ask any questions during this webinar, during this presentation, if something is unclear, as Cheryl has already mentioned. So why do we think Google SGE will have such a big impact in the coming year? Maybe good to know, to give you a little bit background information. SGE is standing for Search Generative Experience, and that's totally based on AI. With the coming of ChatGPT and all the other AI stuff, Google also introduced the new search results with Search Generative Experience, Google SGE. And why is this important? We think that the coming or the introduction of Google SGE will change the search landscape completely. And it will also impact your traffic results to your website, because the search results are getting different. You get more paid advertising, for example, maybe less organic results. So this will really impact your website traffic as well, and the online channels where you get your generate your traffic from. And good to know, it's coming, and it's coming really soon. So that's why we have the web webinar, and I would like to give you a little bit more information about this. Yes, as I mentioned, it's coming really soon. I'll come back to that later. To go to the table of contents for this webinar, I would like to start off with a little introduction about myself, then go to the development of the SERP. The SERP is the search engine result pages, so that's the page of Google that you will get by a search query. Then a little bit more information about what is Google SGE, what can you expect, new features that Google is testing within Google SGE, some SGE insights, some data that we already have, and of course, how to prepare for the new SERP of Google. Yeah, first off, a little introduction about myself. I'm Jeroen. Cheryl already mentioned, I'm team lead of the SEO and content team at Maatwerk Online. About myself, living near to Rotterdam with my girlfriend and two sons, Lennon and Otis. And the last one is one of my big dreams. And that's I would like to be a future marathon runner. I'm totally not in that shape already, so hopefully Google SGE can help me with becoming a marathon runner in future.
Well, our colleagues cannot wait to see you run a marathon. We will be standing at the sideline and cheering for you when it's going to happen. Let me tell you that. Okay.
I'm afraid of that.
Yeah.
Okay, as I mentioned, I would like to give you a little bit background information about how the SERP of Google has developed, how it evolved, and then good to know with the slides that you will see. This is the mission statement of Google, and this is always keeping this mission statement in mind when they are changing the SERP, the search results page. The mission statement of Google is organize the results information and make it universally accessible and useful. So all the information that they get in their index from all the websites, they have to prioritize them and give you the best results within the SERP. And that's always what they are keeping in mind by changing the SERP and optimizing the SERP. To give you a little bit more background information, this is the SERP, how we know them today. But yeah, of course, it wasn't always like this. So if you go to the next slide, a little tour about all the years and all the changes that we had within the SERP. Let's start in 1998 when it all began. This is an overview of the SERP in 1998 when Google was introduced. Of course, the logo a bit old, but also the Google thing below. Yeah, we don't have it anymore, unfortunately. It's pretty cool. But this is how it was looking at that moment. Then we go like 7 years later, and then Google started with use testing, eye tracking in how people are using the SERP of Google. And then they are starting to optimize the SERP based on user experience. What you already see on the right, you see the first advertisements. They were introduced as well then. And they are also testing the organic and paid research results within the SERP. 2 years later, they expand the SERP of Google with a lot of more opportunities, options within the SERP. For example, photos was a new thing. Docs, calendars, they introduced in 2007 a lot of new features within Google. So this was also a big moment for them. Then we go to 2008, and then they started with the auto suggest option within Google to just give you the best answer you can get from your search query, and they help you with some possible search queries that you can enter. In 2011, if you go a little bit further, they added the Google Images, search by images options, and that means that you could upload or could copy an image within Google and search by or via images instead of just a search query. In 2012, then they introduced the knowledge graph, so to give you more information within the SERP. So you didn't have to click to a specific website, but you can directly find the information within the SERP. And there they started with the uses of helpful content, and especially that part went more important at that stage. And in 2014, they started testing and introducing the local results. We didn't have that before, and based on the local results, your search results, getting more personalized than before. And also the SERP changed to your personalized information and your personalized data as search queries that you have done before. So that's the development of Google. We skipped like 9 years already, and then there is AI. Now, there already was AI, but AI went a big thing within the market. Starting with ChatGPT, of course. If you get to the next slide, go on further. Of course, ChatGPT was taken over by Microsoft, and if you are already using Bing, within Bing, it's already possible to use ChatGPT within your search results and get your results based on ChatGPT answers. So Google has to come with an answer, and that is Google SGE, automatic generating answers based on your profile, based on your search queries. And that is the step to Google SGE. And from here, I would like to tell you a little bit more about Google SGE and what you can expect from the new search results in the coming period.
I'ma come talk like, whoa, move fast, move slow, catch me on a roll, come say hello, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yes, yes, yes.
Come say hello, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
There
That
it
will
is.
be your your search.
You got this. Let's go.
Hey.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? And the answer is
Yes.
no.
Yes.
No.
I'ma make 'em talk like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'ma make 'em talk like.
I'ma make 'em talk like, whoa.
That is really impressive.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And as I already said, they will answering your questions even better in different kind of formats, even more formats that you already have within the SERP. And to give you a little bit more feeling about what we can expect, I prepared some examples. So I would like to walk through those examples. A lot of short videos where we can see what will be changed. For example, this is a really long search query, but for this kind of long tail search queries, you will see that mostly Google SGE will prepare a really big answer with a lot of information. Just to provide all the information that they think is relevant for your search query, they will add it here. And all the information is generated from different kinds of websites. So it could be that the first paragraph is getting from website A, second paragraph is from website B, for example. That's a possibility. There's not directly a source within this answer, but they will add some sources or articles, in the right, as you can see.
It's insane how large the text is going to be. Like the answer, it's taking a huge amount of space on the search result page.
Yeah, later on in this presentation, I will show you how much characters and pixels an average Google SGE answer will be.
Okay.
It's shocking.
Yeah, really.
So this is one example. Another one, for example, for why the search query, why do whales like to sing? Of course, also here you get some answers with bullet points, and it's really easy to find your right answer if you would like to know more, then also Google provides you some best articles. You can find them below. And you can also click on ask a follow-up question. So you can really interact with the AI results that you are getting. So that's cool. If you go to the next one, then for sure how to get an old coffee stain from a wool sweater. Then Google SGE or the AI is generating multiple options to perform your action. In the old situation, you get, for example, a knowledge graph or an FAQ box, and there's only one answer given. Based on all the information that Google generates from the website, Google, it's possible to generate an answer with multiple options for your search query. So that's pretty good, pretty cool. It will directly give you the right answer without clicking to any website at all.
Wow.
So that will change as well. And as you already mentioned, if you have a look at the search query, headache in back of head, there's a lot of information. Above the fold, you do not see any organic results or paid results. It's only generative AI. What you see is the drop-down menus. You can click on there, and then if you click on one of the drop-downs, that's not possible in the presentations, but then you will see the source where Google is getting the content from, and that source is clickable. So for example, after the first paragraph, you click on the drop-down, there's a source where Google is getting the information from, and then you can click on that specific organic result. So the organic results are in the answers, but you have to perform an action before you can see them. So that will change, and also will impact, I think, the organic results and the CTR that you have compared to now. Then another one is what do people say about domain? And then you get more user-generated content. And also this is, it's already there with reviews, for example, about companies, about products. But this is also one of the focus points that Google will change within Google SGE. There will be more user-generated content than before, just to help other visitors to get the right answer on your search query without that it will be generated by Google. So also user-generated content will be more and more important in future with Google SGE.
So you can actually see the reviews of others as a search result.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and later on, I have a feature where what they are testing.
Yeah.
And then you can see even more and it go even further without the user generating content.
Wow. Okay.
Then for the next one, this is more an e-commerce search query, so Bluetooth speaker for a pool party. Normally you will get directly shopping results, but generative AI is also getting more informative content within the search results. So that means you can still see the products below the first paragraph and the bullet points, but also the informational content for this e-commerce search term or search query is important. So the more informational, helpful content you create within your e-commerce results, the better, the better the chance that you will get within the top search results within Google. Another example is this one, for example, and then you will see the shopping results. So it's still the paid shopping results as we know them. Then below a little bit of informational content, and then you see the organic shopping results. So also the organic shopping results will be important in the future. It's already there in Google Shopping, but in the new situation, it will be directly in the SERP. That means that also organically, the product pages or information should be on par together.
at a first glance, you would say that it would influence SEO on a more negative way, that it wouldn't play as a huge role anymore. But now if you really look into it, it makes it even more complex and more important, right?
Yeah, because also what you see over here is the combination of products. You'll see below the 5 that you have there. And on the right, you also have some informational articles. So it will be more a combination of helpful content with commercial e-commerce pages.
Okay.
So yeah, that will change, definitely. Another one, it's about, let me have a look. Another one, here you see a lot of information about the products themselves. So also this result page is looking a little bit different. It starts with a paragraph of information as the other results that we saw. But for the products themselves, on the right, we also have an informational text about the product. And that's new. That's another form of the SERP. That's different. Google was testing this one comparing to the other one. We are not sure yet which one will be go live within the rollout of Google SGE. Maybe they are both, but yeah, that's something that we have to keep in mind. And also here you see the informational content combined with the e-commerce content.
Okay.
And that's an important one.
So the futures.
Yes. So that's basically what I just showed with some examples of the search results itself. Of course, with Google SGE, Google is testing some new features as well to get better answers to your search queries. And there are some really cool things which Google is testing at the moment. And I would like to show them to you and give a little explanation to those features. Yes, first, this is for the Christmas days are coming. For example, if you would like to do a search on a present that you or a gift that you would like to have, you would again directly see page results, but you also will see more and more information. And it's also another way to for a SERP view.
It's more elaborate.
Yeah, it's more elaborate.
Way more information than just a normal like shopping results, right?
Yeah, and that makes it also a bit different because difficult because there are so many ways in which Google is showing the e-commerce or product results. And what we have to do is really to dive into your specific most important search queries and to have a look at what is Google showing us and how can we optimize for what we are seeing in the SERP.
That will make the product descriptions that you have on your websites for the products that you are selling also way more important because I can imagine that nowadays you just write a simple explanation about your product, but I think with this you have to put a little bit more effort in that.
Yeah, of course, and it's not only for your products, but also if you have a B2B website, for example. It's not about adding SEO content anymore, what it was in the past, of course, but it should really be helpful content. So it really help the visitor of Google within their search queries and their answers.
Wow.
So it's not only for e-commerce, but also for
informational
websites.
Information purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, this one is, I think this is a really cool feature. For example, if you are looking for, in this case, a puffer jacket.
Puffer jacket. A puffer jacket.
Yeah, you can just say, okay, I would like to have this jacket. Can you change it in some different colors? And then based on AI, Google is giving you answers by creating images based on AI themselves.
Wait, you're creating a jacket that doesn't exist?
It could be, but as you can see in the short video that we have, there are some products that are exactly looking like the AI generated content. So you can directly go to that website and order your puffer jacket if you like it.
So if I say I want to have a puffer jacket that has clouds on them, and then the AI will generate a puffer jacket that looks like it, and then will search for a puffer jacket that I can actually buy that looks like closely to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it's really, really close.
Yeah,
as you can see over there, but sometimes it's close enough and then you can buy it.
Exactly, but then you know for sure that it either doesn't exist or that's the best option you can go for.
Yeah.
Sounds like a shopper's dream, to be honest.
I think so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, then another one is Google also will introduce like 40 models, which you can select and which are as close as your personal build. Trying on new clothes, for example, or trying on other products that you would like to buy. You can select your model, and then based on the products that you are searching for in Google, you can have a look how the product is fitting to your model, and then you know if it will fit you as well. And that means that if you are an e-commerce website, for example, it's really important that your images are from the best quality, or your product information is as informational as possible. All the elements, all the things that you know about your product should be in your product description, on your product detail page, but also in your shopping feed.
Another shopper's dream, if you ask me.
Yeah, a lot of e-commerce testing here.
I know.
Yeah, and then we have another one, and that's Google Notes.
Okay.
So that's less about e-commerce, but more about user-generated content. So, for example, if you searching for this search query, you click on the first result within Google, then you go to the landing page that you see in the short video, and what you saw. Let's wait, maybe.
It will start over?
No, it will start over. What you saw is that there are 80 notes about this specific landing page. And the 80 notes means that people who has visited the website and leave a comment within a note about the article. And they can tell you if it was helpful or what they thought about the article.
But that is not a review.
Yeah, it's some kind of a review because they are rating what they have seen, of what they saw, and also tell you what the most important points from that article are. So they will help you.
And that leave a note, that is via Google Notes. So it's like what they use to...
Yeah, they call it Google Notes, but it's just an option within the search result pages.
Okay.
And they are testing it. It's not sure that it will be live, but they are testing it. And with the user-generated content, this is also one of the most important things.
Interesting.
And of course, if you go to the next slide, it's also possible to create Google Notes yourself. So if you have read an article, you can leave a message for other visitors just to tell them what you have done with the information, for example. So in this case, they created a birthday cake based on the information of the landing page. You can add a picture with the birthday cake, in this case, which they have created based on the information of the landing page. So you can really communicate with other users and other people that are looking for the same search query.
And will Google control in a way who leaves a note on what? Because, I mean, I can leave a note on a competitor and be like, that's not true, or this isn't working right, or the quality is really bad. And
I'm not sure yet, but I can imagine that it will be the same as a local guide, for example.
Yeah, okay.
So you can review a restaurant, for example, or food or a service, and then you are a local guide or a super guide or all the things that you have over there.
Cool.
So I think you will get how do you say it? A rating yourself based on the comments that you leave.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So if you leave a lot of negative comments that tend to be not true, then you're basically not able to leave any notes anymore. Okay, cool.
That about Google Notes. And again, the user-generated content, will be more important.
Yeah.
Then we have Google Flow. This is also interesting. So as I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, I would like to be a feature marathon runner. So
don't believe him.
I will, maybe not next year, but the year after. So when I'm searching in Google for a half a marathon training, for example, because I have to start somewhere, then you get this search results, and you will have the possibility to click on the button following. And that means that you will follow new topics about half a marathon training, in this case. And you can get a note when a new article about this topic, which Google says is relevant, you will get a note or a message with hey Jeroen, there is a new article about it. Maybe you have to read it. So it's looking a little bit like social
Yeah.
media.
It does.
Because you can really follow new trends and topics within
Yeah.
the Google search results.
Yeah.
So that will change, and that's, for me, that will be really helpful. And if you go to the next slide, there you see some examples. If I am following it and I search for it,
Yeah.
then my results will be personalized based on what I have already read and based on
Cool.
new articles
Yeah.
from this topic.
Nice. Also really interesting.
Yeah, and this is a big opportunity, I think, if you would like to be a topical authority for a specific topic, then you really have to create new articles constantly to get over here within those personalized search results.
So articles and blogs and things like that, it sounds like it's going to play a much bigger role now with SGE.
Yeah. Again, helpful content
Yeah.
together with user-generated content. I think that will be the key within Google SGE.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Sounds
getting
cool.
really, yeah.
Just
I'm
sounds
getting
really cool.
really excited. Hopefully you will as well. Yeah, so it sounds cool, right? Sounds cool, right? Yeah, well done, because it's almost there. If we have a look at where Google SGE, in which stadium it is at the moment, I think 2-3 weeks ago, Google launched the beta version in 120 countries worldwide. So that means that it is really big, and that they are testing worldwide right now. They're not testing it in the Netherlands yet. So that's something that has to come. And if you now are using Google SGE, the beta version, the Dutch results are not that good. So we really have to test within, for example, American results.
Yeah.
And that's what we are doing at the moment.
Yeah.
But they will have, in near future, they will roll it out in the Netherlands as well with the beta version, just to understand the Dutch language there as well and get the best answers. If you go to the next slide, then you see the time path or the roadmap that Google has presented for rolling out Google SGE. And that means that we are already in phase 4. So they started with Google Labs in the United States, then go to Japan, then go to India. And what I said like 2-3 weeks ago, they rolled it out worldwide. And then the next step is to globally roll it out and getting it live within the search results. And that can be really fast. It can be in the first quarter of 2024, it can be the second quarter or the third quarter. But somewhere in that time period, we can expect that the global rollout will be there, as they presented their own roadmap. So of course, we have tested Google SGE ourselves. Also find some first researches about Google SGE and the data and what will be changed. So in this part, I would like to give some more information about the data that we have found. So for example, here you see some topics for where we can plot the search queries that we have, where we can plot them in. So for example, investing, medical, time sensitive, SEO, e-commerce, visited person, your money, your life. And the percentages will say in how many cases of searches within this topic and Google SGE result has given. And for example, for e-commerce and visit in person, so for example, parking near me or stuff like that, it's almost 100% an SGE result. So for those two branches, for example, is really, really important to get your information on par. For SEO, the same, and more for topics about investing your money, your life, which is a bit sensitive to give information about that. There you see that the SGE results will not be generated that much as for other branches.
And if your business is not part of one of these topics, is it then something that you shouldn't be focusing on or have less priority, give less priority to it? Or
I think if you are not focusing on it, you will, for example, if you are in investing, it's just 22%. But if you are not focusing on it, it can be you are there. But if you do nothing, then it can also be that if you have any good positions within Google, that you will lose them. So
if, let's say, you've been live with your website for over 8 years and you've built up such an authority on the web, you can just lose them just like that because SGE just came around.
Exactly. And also the next slide is
Yeah.
also a good one. For example, how to search queries. For kind of search query, 77% of the search results resulted in a generative AI generated search result. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
But for example, for search queries with best, so best iPhones, best iPhone cases, for example, it's only 52% because also that's a bit sensitive, difficult to really say, okay, these are the best.
Yeah.
So for the how-to search queries, the helpful content, again, you will have more SEE results, and there it's more important.
Okay.
Then the next one, I'm not sure if you can see it really good because it's a bit,
It's really light.
yeah, it's a bit light. Then the average number of sources that Google is showing within their Gen SEE results. At the beginning of the beta program, it was like 4.8 sources on an average. And during the testing period of the beta version of Google SE, they are getting or putting more and more sources within the search results. And at the moment, there are 8.2 number of sources within the generated AI search results. So on the one hand, that is an opportunity because if you have a lower position within Google, the possibility that you will be one of those 8 will be bigger.
Yeah.
But if you already have a number 1 position, then it's more difficult to keep your number 1 position with the same amount of impressions, same amount of traffic.
Yeah.
And that's something that we really have to learn about what will be the CTR and what will be the data that we and the traffic that we will generate, because we don't know yet. We cannot measure it yet. The only thing is that we can test it within the American search results and then give an advice about what we should do.
Yeah. Okay.
Last one, within those sources, what I just mentioned, like 8.2 different kind of sources are used based to build up the SEE results. From those 8.2 sources, only 70% of those sources were from the current top 3 organic positions. So that means if you are in the top 3, it will be possible that you will lose a lot of traffic over there.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure and find out how we can get the top 3 results also within the search, the SGE results. 46% are built up from the top 10 results, I have to say, and even 43% are coming from pages that do not even rank on the first page. So if you are not in the top 10, then there are a lot of new opportunities.
Yeah.
But if you are in the top 10, of again what I already mentioned, it will be harder for you.
Wow.
So that's a big change as well, and that's
It
something
is.
where also our SEO specialists have to advise you about, of course, and that's something that we are diving in at the moment. Then about the data and the things that we have seen. We have had a look at how SE will look like. We will have a look at all the features that Google SE is testing at the moment. We have had a look at the first data. And of course, we would like to prepare your website as good as possible as well. Some things that we as an SEO team has noticed and that we can already do is, I mentioned, I think, all the points already.
Yeah.
But most important is to set up, if you are an e-commerce website, set up the product detail pages as completely as possible. All information that you have about your products, add them to the product detail page. Make sure that they are in your shopping feed as well. And that the product images, for example, has the best quality that you can offer. Be better than your competitors with this information and the quality that you deliver to Google. That's important. So,
Sorry, So there's a question about something that you have mentioned before about the measurement of Google SGE.
Yeah.
So is it correctly, are they interpreting it correctly with the fact that we're not able to measure it?
At the moment, no, because it's a beta version. So we do not have access to that specific data.
Okay, so in other words, we have to wait till it comes in the Netherlands,
Yeah.
outside of its beta environment, so like fully globally launched in the Netherlands, and
Exactly.
then we can see how to measure it. And okay,
Because, for example, in the United States, the
Yeah.
beta version is there, so you can go from the beta version to a website. But
yeah,
Google Analytics, for example, or Google Search,
it doesn't show anything.
You cannot see it.
So it's a big surprise to basically everybody in the world.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. His answer, ouch. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But of course, this is something that we have to measure when it's live, and then directly take an action on that. It's not only for us. I think that's for the whole market.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another one is to implement and extend your current structured data. If you do not have structured data on your website at the moment, then our advice is to put it live directly and as complete as possible as well, because within the structured data, you can give information much easier, much quicker to Google, and they will reward you with getting better organic positions. So that's something that you have to do directly. Another one is create a content plan for helpful content. If you are an e-commerce website, for example, and you do not have helpful content yet, please create a content plan where you are creating helpful content. For example, a blog environment about your products, or just a content block in your product detail page, for example. But the helpful content is also related to B2B websites, for example, or just informational websites. Also there, if you now have if you think the quality of your content is not good enough, please make sure that before we go live with SGE, that the content that we have is helpful and really does matter for visitors on your website.
Okay, so we don't know when it goes live, right? In the Netherlands, it's a big question. It could go live on the 1st of January.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so, but
it could be.
possible.
Could be.
Yeah.
So you do recommend to get started with this as soon as possible.
Exactly.
And so why not wait until SGE is live in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't they wait?
Yeah, because this will also help with the current with your current position.
So you will benefit from it either
way.
way.
Also within the current situation, with the current SERP, and you will directly benefit, as we expect, within the new SGE SERP.
Okay. Makes sense.
And then the last one that we have added over here is to create a content plan around popular topics. For example, for myself, if I would run the marathon, I will follow the marathon topic within Google.
Yeah.
So make sure that you will be the topical authority within that topic, so people will see your blog articles, your news articles, and click on your website to see the information.
These are some good hands-on tips that you gave.
Yeah, and that's based on the data that we saw and the testing that we did ourselves. So that's what we can see right now.
Okay.
And of course, it's a good one. We will continue to monitor the beta version of Google SGE. If there come up some new features or come up some new search results, we will mention it. The specialist, we will share it with the specialists at Maatwerk Online, so that they can inform you about the new changes that you see over there.
So just to elaborate, we do have access to the beta version, but then the US version, right? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So we can analyze everything from there, and then, okay.
Yeah, and we can also, now I say it from the United States, but you can also change location. So if you would like to test in Germany, for example, that will also be possible.
Okay, so it could be really interesting for already clients that have businesses or websites active in Germany. Okay.
Only in the Netherlands, it's not possible yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay.
So we will keep this monitoring.
Yeah.
And if something changes, our specialist or your specialist will inform you about it.
Yeah, so that was all the information that we have so far on Google SGE. That's a lot to process. So this webinar can also be looked back on a later timing, or including as well this presentation for you guys. Another big thing we have, what we can already do for you is give you an audit on Google SGE. So if you're interested in already getting an audit on Google SGE for your website, just let us know. I will put a poll right now. You can just leave it on there that you want to make use of that. just click the button, and then we know that you're interested in that, and then your maatje, maatje, exactly, will contact you directly about Google SGE. So that was the webinar for today. Are there any questions? I can imagine that it was an overload on information for you, that you might need to process this, and that you might have some questions later on. That's also fine. Your maatje can help you with those as well. But we have the expert right next to us right now. So if you have any questions, just let us know. If you need more explanation, if you want to see some examples, if you're really curious on how it will impact your business, just write it down in the chat. Otherwise, I want to thank you a lot for joining this webinar. You will all receive a link to watch this webinar back as well. And have a great lunchtime as well. The sun is shining in Rotterdam. So yeah, we're happy. Yeah, and thank you so much.
Any questions so far?
Yeah, I see one question.
Great.
Will we keep Google as our first search tool, or will we switch to AI/Bing more?
Yeah, it's really difficult to say. I think what I have seen from Bing, it's okay. It's based on ChatGPT, but I'm really more excited about what I see from Google SGE. So I expect that Google SGE or Google will be the main source of your traffic, and also the most used search engine. That's my expectation based on what I have seen.
I think so too. I think with the amount of answers you get on your questions right now or on your search results, it will be much easier to use a Google versus a Bing, for example.
Yeah.
Another question. I see that SGE has a lot of opportunities for B2C. How do you see SGE will help B2B?
Yeah, as I mentioned the keyword phrase, top co-authority and helpful content a lot. And I think also for non-B2C websites, helpful content will make sense within the current SERP, but also within the new SGE SERP. So make sure your content really helps the visitors of your website. If that is the case, Google will see it as relevant because they are also looking to your website experience. If people are reading the content that you have, then Google also see it as good experience. So your content must be relevant, and you will get better positions. So if you are a B2B website, for example, or an informational website, also make use of helpful content and make sure that your content will help your visitors.
Maybe you could give an example with maatrekonline.nl, because we're B2B as well.
Yeah.
Like, how would that work for us?
For example, if you have a look at the things that we are offering as an agency, so you have different kind of pages over there. We have short content. Maybe we can elaborate
on that a bit more. Give more information about.
Make it more concrete, more helpful. That you really know. If we have to look at, for example, the SEO page. What is SEO? What can we do for you? What is our process, for example? Just to give you all the information that you probably need.
Yeah, so then in any case, if a potential customer or lead needs to have an online marketing agency or a web development agency, and they type a query that is related to that on the search page, then we hope that we will come up with all the information that we have, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And of course, we hope that Google SGE will pick you up.
Yeah, exactly.
As a source.
Okay. Any other questions for you? Thanks. Another one. This is more about SEA.
Mm-hmm.
But how will SGE affect paid search? How will it favor search ads? That's a really good question.
Yeah, based on the testing that we have already done, we see a lot of more organic products, organic shopping, so that's good. But also the places that paid shopping has are more prominent. Yeah. So I think SEA is getting more important.
It's getting more important.
It could be that there will be more traffic from your SEA companies than before, based on Google and their business.
Yeah.
It is likely that paid results getting more attention.
Yeah, that's how they earn their money, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions? No, I see nothing coming in. Well, in any case, if something pops up in your mind on a later
Yeah.
stage or after rewatching this webinar, just let your maatje or just react in the chat on the
Yeah.
webinar, and then it will come directly to our email. So we will come back to you. I want to thank you all for watching the webinar, and I wish you a really nice and sunny, well, I hope it's sunny on your side as well, a really nice and sunny day today, as well as enjoy your lunch. Thank you, guys. We will indeed be in touch, Philip. Bye.
Bye-bye.